that one too.
All right, so here we are, scrapping per use. So we talk about reduce, reuse, recycle, repurpose. This is what we're talking about. We have a 5-phase recovery process. So at first it's reduce, reuse, repurpose, recycle, and then responsible disposal. That's how we do everything around here. It's a 5-phase recovery process. Now, when you look around the shop, we have magnets everywhere. Look like this for the most part, or like this. If you look on that post right there, whole bunch of magnets. Now here's the deal. Magnets are expensive. Magnets are expensive because they are. I don't know, like just go and try to buy one. So the way we do it is we find our magnets while we're scrapping. Look at that. Every speaker you dig into has a magnet. So speakers aren't really cash flow positive to take apart. We can put them in with our e-waste if we want, but instead we choose to take our magnets apart because we want, or magnets, I keep saying magnets. We choose to take our speakers apart because we want that magnet. That magnet now, right, is more valuable as a magnet than it is as a speaker. This is being an old JBL speaker, right? Majority of this speaker is non-recyclable material. You got insulation in there, you got particle board. Like this is gonna end up in the landfill. So instead of playing fuck games and messing around with it, I'd rather just extract the value out of it and then go from there. So pull what I can off of it, even these two little clips, like things like this, like it's not cash flow positive. This is worth not really my time, but I'm already here having a good time, so I'm gonna bust these things out. After that, everything else is pretty much plastic. So we got plastic, we got particle board, and we got insulation. That's all gonna go to the landfill. That's a fact, that's a reality of recycling. However, I have this speaker. Now, I could put this in as sheet iron, but I'm more interested in keeping the magnet. So sometimes I can take the magnet off, sometimes I just keep them or it breaks off. Not sure how this one's gonna go, so we're gonna start taking this apart real quick and see what happens. The point is, instead of going around the world trying to buy new stuff, see what you got laying around, see how you can utilize the stuff you have laying around, and then use it to your best advantage. Magnets are something you can never have too much of, because when you have magnets, it's empowering for all your guys. They'll know what they're doing. When it comes to come across steel and not steel and what to do with it, see if I can use a hammer and break it off. Not a... There you go. Okay, so originally I started peeling this back because I wanted to get to these screws. There's these 4 screws. Typically it's like this, and then there's screws, and I was gonna do it the fancy way and be like, oh, this is how to do it. But that's the practical way of doing it, right? That's super soft. Can be made out of a couple different materials. So that's your core, right? I'm gonna throw this in a sheet iron. It's metal in nature. Okay, now I got a magnet. That's it. That's the whole explanation, right? So when we talk about scrapping, it's not just about recycling and getting the max value. It's also about finding things that you can use. Now, this magnet right now is already in surface. I can start cleaning up my table today. All right, so this one here, it tore like right away. I just pulled out and it tore. So it just shows how they're different. So then here I can see you got, they're riveted. But I'm just gonna pop that out again. Again, speakers, you know, things like this where you don't have to keep it fancy. When you have steel and you have wood, you're always gonna use that against itself, right? Hit the hard stuff against the soft stuff and don't look for tools. One of my brass bucket, I don't want that. So again, there's all the tools in the world. Hammer's your best friend. And that is how we reuse, or repurpose, I'll say. We repurpose a speaker and turn it into a tool, it being a magnet, so we can hang these all over the warehouse. We can hang them all over our trucks. And that way, we'll never run out of magnets. All right, so those speakers went relatively simple because I got easy ones. Like this one will be a pain in the ass.
That one too.
So I'd rather use the wood ones than the plastic ones. Plastic ones make a bigger mess. Scrapping is one of those things, like once you get into it and you're doing it, like you kind of have ways of doing things and you're not really thinking about it too much. You're just like, hey, how does this put together? What's the fastest, simplest, safest way to get it apart? And again, the hammer's your friend. So I sit here, this one here, they're tucked in there. I'm not gonna play fuck games. It either comes off when I hit it with a hammer or it doesn't. And even this, like I can still use this as a magnet. Like this will work, it's just a little cumbersome. So if I can get it out of there with ease, I'll do it. So again, every speaker is almost the same, right? You got this metal steel piece here, magnet around it, or sometimes it's inside. Then you have this metal housing and it's secured some way, shape, or form. This is thin sheet iron, so I'm going to hit this and eventually it'll bend. And if it's too small, I might not do it. Also, when I'm doing this, like typically if you look at my fingers, think about it like I'm cutting, kind of tuck my fingers in and I'm hitting away, right? I'm not like here, my fingers aren't exposed. Try to pull them in, tuck them in best I can. Like I'm not going to get hurt scrapping if I can avoid it. This is probably about the smallest magnet I'll mess with. Anything smaller than this, I'm just going to hurt myself, right? I have to have something to hold on to. So you saw there, I didn't swing very, very hard, whatever, 15, 20 swings, and I got myself a magnet, right? You go buy a magnet at Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, it's $4, $5, $6. I just spent the last 3-4 minutes, and I got 3 nice size magnets, and I can put these anywhere and everywhere. So there you go. Doesn't love that pull. And then again, you still, at this point, you still got the steel from the cage, and you got all the wood. So one of the best things you can do as a scrapper, a lot of people don't do, is occasionally you got to clean your scrap table, and it's a constant fight you're having with your scrap table when you are scrapping, is consistently cleaning up, because you want things to be safe. In order for them to be safe, you got to have a nice clean surface working area. So scrapping is, you spend half your time cleaning and half your time scrapping. A bunch of this here is actually iron from a sink I did earlier. I'll pull the plastic bits out. I could use a magnet here, but I'm pulling the plastic bits out. The rest of that can just go to our scrap dealer. Again, it's about having a nice, clean, safe working area so we can put the next thing up here and get to it.